Hello and welcome back to Reading of the Peers, where we chat about and discuss all sorts of movies. My name is Gary O'Brien, and joining me as always for the monthly recaps, it is the one and only David Scanlon. Today we're talking about the latest movies of January 2024, so stick around. We hope you enjoy.
It's New Year, Gary.
New Year.
Oh, I had a joke actually. It is we're finally in the year of the Irish unification according to Star Trek.
And there was big news of the weekend as well.
Yeah, I know. It's all coming together. It's all coming together.
Star Trek. Do you reckon that was just Colin Meaney pushing for that?
Yeah, big time.
Good man.
Yeah, he's a big rat head. See those lovely curly locks. You can fit a bandana or
balaclava. Wow, this is taking a bit of a turn, isn't it? Usually I'm the one who says something controversial up top.
No, but like it's first one of the year.
First one of the year, yeah.
What else?
It's a mulligan.
What else are we looking forward to in 2024? Apart from the movies, of course.
I'm hope and prosperity worldwide, the end of global warming and hunger, and Taylor Swift for president.
Look, it's not impossible.
Anyway, this is already. I was going to say, I reckon if you put her on the ballot,
yeah, she'll get a lot of votes, but probably not suited to the office.
Who do you think wins, The Rock or Taylor Swift?
Oh, Taylor Swift.
Really?
Yeah, I'm like apart from your friend Orla, our friend Orla. Yeah. I've never seen someone who's like rock obsessed.
That's true. I have a geologist friend that is fucking crazy.
I do know people that are Swift obsessed.
Swift, that's fair. Now I was going to get into a whole thing. The Rock's come back. He's facing Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. A lot of people are very angry about it. I'll say it for another podcast, David.
This is the thing. I think he's a bit intimidated by the other wrestlers who've joined.
John Cena.
Cinematic.
Dave Bautista.
Yeah, cinematic.
Hornswoggle.
Cinematic fame.
Yep.
Of course there was a... Oh, that's another thing I meant to say. Are we going to talk about the Iron Claw on this?
No, Iron Claw's for next month.
Okay, great.
I'll have a lot to say about the Iron Claw next month. Yeah. I have to wait a whole month.
Yeah, because that's obviously a wrestling movie.
It's a big wrestling movie, David.
It's a wrestling movie, yeah. So he's obviously intimidated. He's taking a step back.
Yep.
You know my thoughts on The Rock. He's never really done a proper movie. Never. Like there's some fun stuff, but like look at Dave Bautista.
Yeah, he's a proper actor.
He's a proper actor.
Yep, I'd agree.
Yeah. The Rock is a clown.
Were you saying of all the wrestlers who've gone to be actors, the one that's most like a clown is The Rock, and not Doink the Clown?
I don't know if that's real or not.
Doink the Clown is a wrestler. Okay, this is too unhinged.
Is he an actor though? You can cut all this out if you want.
Yeah, I might cut this out. No, he's not an actor at all. I just know there was one that used to be a clown called
Doink the Clown. I feel like like Dave Bautista has taken the right steps in terms of he has his blockbusters, comedy and stuff, but then he's got his dramatics. Whereas I think John Cena and The Rock... Well, John Cena is still only really dipping his toe in, but John Cena and The Rock are still very much like box office... What's box office gold, which isn't really box office gold. It's what we would call visual garbage. Yeah.
Also, Dave Bautista wears more than one outfit in most of his movies, which isn't just an off-white tee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's adaptable.
He sometimes wears a coat.
Yeah.
Sometimes
wears glasses.
Sometimes wears little tiny swim shorts. Yeah.
Incredible.
There we go. Right. If people want to jump around...
Please
do. There's time codes in the description. You can you can get in contact with the show on Instagram, Spotify, YouTube. Let us know your thoughts, what you were a big fan of in January and what you're looking forward to in February. But today we're going to talk about the movies we watched in January 2024 that came out in Ireland. There's a few that came out in America in December 2023, but they don't count. We didn't see Mean Girls because no thanks.
Yeah, that's right.
And we didn't see The Beekeeper.
No.
Because no thanks.
No, don't like bees.
You know, not a fan of bees?
Like bees are fine.
Okay, but just don't like beekeepers.
Not a fan of Jason Statham.
Okay, that's fair. Because I was gonna say I actually do have a guy. I know one of my mates is a beekeeper.
Oh yeah, you're saying that. I know.
Yeah.
He
beat the shit out of you if you had bad things to say about beekeepers.
Bees are essential to our ecosystem.
Yeah, it's all part of my January, my 2024 life goals about fixing global climate change.
Yeah, exactly. Global change. And beekeepers are important, but Jason Statham, no thank you.
Okay, that's fine. You're pissing off a lot of muscular bald-headed dudes at the start of this podcast, David.
I mean, I may not make it out alive.
There you go. Oh, look at that. No. Okay, so the movies we are going to be talking about are Poor Things, The Holdovers, All of Us Strangers, The Colour Purple, Zone of Interest, One Life, Priscilla, and then a bit about what's coming out next month as well, which I'll just save you a bit of time, is not much except for the Iron Claw, which I'd recommend just saving a bit of time.
Yeah. Right.
So like I said,
the one thing I would say about January for the Irish audiences, this tends to be when a lot of the Oscar movies come out. So a lot of prestige in this podcast.
Yeah. Also, I had a bit of a case of the January blues. And I realised that when I looked at all my reviews of the movies this month, and I didn't like anything.
Yeah, you didn't like anything.
But there are good movies.
No, Gary doesn't like movies.
I don't like any movies. Do you know what I watched this morning, actually? Hot take. Watch Maria Antoinette. You know the Sofia Coppola movie? Loved it.
Oh, there you go.
Very surprised.
Well, maybe you actually will like Priscilla.
That's what I'm thinking now. Anyway, I didn't watch Priscilla or One Life. Dave's going to be talking about those. But I realised I was thinking about why there is that sort of black hole in the States when it comes to these releases. Like, why do we have to wait so long? And I realized it's because the Super Bowl is on, and I realized nobody goes to see the movie, goes to the movies. So like Mean Girls and The Beekeeper were like the only new movies out for like 3 weeks while the semifinals were going on in the, not semifinals, what are they called?
The AFC,
the division
NFC.
finals.
Yeah. No, but like what I can't understand is like in Ireland, it's a big thing of post Christmas. There's not a huge amount to do. So people go to a lot of people go to the cinema. Like we've gone to the cinema now, and it's like more packed now than it ever really is.
Yeah, people are trying not to drink.
Yeah, but that's obviously not a thing in America. And I know the other time of the year where cinemas in America tend to quieten down. I don't know if it's the same here, but is September, and the idea is that post summer, kids are back in school. You know, the production companies don't release movies in September because it's not profitable, or I don't know.
They do though, don't they? Is that not when Joker came out and Guardians of the Galaxy came out? Was that
here?
Sorry, over there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Sorry, the States.
Oh, okay.
It's different here.
Oh, yeah.
We're a completely different species over here.
Exactly.
Okay, sorry, we've been rambling on for too long.
It's fine, don't worry about it. It's the first one of the year. We're allowed a mulligan.
Yeah,
this is a mulligan. This is a free one.
Yeah, we're just getting into it.
Poor Things, David.
Yeah.
Do you want to take this one?
Yeah, I will. This is the new movie from Yorgos Lanthimos, who previously directed...
That's nice.
The Lobster.
Oh, movies.
And The Killing of a Sacred Deer and The Favourite.
Dogtooth.
And Dogtooth. A lot of these movies are actually available on streaming services.
Yeah.
So if you do want to, if you did see Poor Things and you want to see his other movies, which I think aren't as...
They're a lot more subdued.
Yeah, they definitely wouldn't be as colourful and bright as Poor Things. But hey, look, if you enjoyed it, maybe you like those. A lot of them are available on Netflix and... Disney
Favorites on Disney Plus, I think.
Yeah, so maybe give them a look. But this film follows Bella Baxter, who is how in depth. Yeah, but she's a reanimated individual.
She's a young woman brought back to life by the brilliant and unorthodox scientist Dr. Goodwin Baxter in an. What do I have a thing here? I thought I wrote something where it says because she's brought back to life in an unconventional way.
Okay, so and what we see is that. When she's brought back to life, she has the brain or the intelligence level of a baby, but throughout the film, she is kind of has her eyes open to the world and develops at a rapid manner and manages to mature to the level of a 30-year-old woman.
Yeah, sure. To whatever Emma Stone is.
Yeah, by the end of the movie. So I would consider this kind of a coming of age, an unorthodox coming of age story with the sort of kind of, if you've seen Yorgos, a Yorgos twist.
Shocking elements.
Yeah, he loves a weird concept.
Yeah.
So we have Emma Stone in the title role of Bella Baxter. We have Goodwin Baxter, her creator or her father or her god, as she refers to.
Think Frankenstein.
Yeah, who is played by Willem Dafoe. With some weird makeup and a lot of
big gassy boy.
I was going to say fatherly issues or paternal issues.
Yeah, paternal issues.
And then I suppose the other two big names, the other big name would be Mark Ruffalo, who plays Duncan Weatherburn.
That is a long big name.
Who he's a bit of a silly goose.
He's a bit of a cad.
Yeah, he's a bit of a silly man.
Early 1900s cad. That's what I describe him as.
And just for anyone keeping tabs, we have 2 actor nominations.
Yes, and this?
We've got a picture nomination and a screenplay nomination.
Cinematography and score. Like a load of nominations. I think it's the second most after Oppenheimer.
Oh, is it?
I think. I'll double check that.
But what I would say about this movie is I really enjoyed it. I think the biggest thing I would say is I didn't think this would be for everyone. I think like even coming out of it, I was like, ooh, some people might not take to this the same way as I kind of enjoyed it, but from speaking to other people, they seem to enjoy it. Graphic, a little bit strange, but what I will say about the more cinematic elements of it, I really enjoyed the cinematography. I really liked the production design. There is, for anyone who's visited Barcelona, there's a Anton Gaudi.
Yeah.
If you know Gaudi architecture, it's all the backgrounds kind of seem like that, but and it seems like a strange world, but the idea is, and again, just kind of assuming from what I took the movie to be, is that you're seeing the world through Bella's eyes, and because she's kind of she's an older body with a younger brain, she's seeing the world kind of in this weird kind of designs and stuff. But I thought it added to the film, and as you mentioned there, the score was a little bit, again, unorthodox, but I think it had a nice twist to it. I don't know. I couldn't tell you actually who's the composer, but
Jeskin Fendrix.
Okay. Anything they've done before?
Movies mainly.
Anything people would know of?
Oh, you're asking what movies they've done
Yeah.
then? Oh, you need to be way more specific
Yeah,
about
okay.
these things. I can't see in it. I can't see anything go.
No, that's fair. Because I just thought it was very strange and it was very particular. Like I obviously heard bits and pieces from the trailers, but it came through quite nicely within the film. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what they do next. Great performances from Emma Stone. I think she's probably frontrunner for...
I don't know.
I think so.
Also, just very quick side note. Me being super cheeky and saying he's done movies was actually incorrect. This is the only
This
movie
is the first movie he's done.
Yeah.
So you're wrong.
I'm so wrong.
Yeah. So sorry, just on I think the three main actors, Emma Stone, Mark Ruffalo, and Willem Dafoe, I think are brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
Emma Stone, I think she's a frontrunner for the
So I have the odds up.
best
here.
actor,
And
best actress Oscar.
The odds for best actress
Yeah.
is... Oh, no, it is... I'm so wrong today. It is Emma Stone. Apologies. I thought it was Lily Gladstone. I just been hearing a lot of hype around here. Yeah, I don't agree. I just heard a lot of hype around here.
And I don't know if I personally go with... I really like Mark Ruffalo's performance, mainly for the fact that you don't see that from him very often.
No, he's never done
He's
anything
very
like this.
subdued. He's usually very subdued, very nice, very
Yeah.
sweet. He is a see you next Tuesday.
Buffoonish cad.
Yeah.
I just someone described it as a cad, and I think that's my favorite
That's
thing.
it, yeah. Whereas I think like Willem Dafoe, this is very much in his wheelhouse. He loves a weird,
He loves being a weird, creepy guy. Yeah.
Very the Lighthouse vibe from him.
Yeah.
But makeup I thought was brilliant on him. He is kind of he can understand his whole character motivations.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed that. Don't think I see Mark Ruffalo winning supporting. Although
it's gonna go to Robert Downey Jr.
Probably Robert Downey Jr. I don't see someone had said this to me that they could see Poor Things upsetting Oppenheimer in a lot
I
of
shouldn't do that today. It should be nice to everyone's feelings.
in a lot of categories, but I don't know.
Not here. As well, I can't. Well, yeah, I think it's a lock for Robert Downey Jr.
No, sorry, I'm saying in other categories.
In other categories, maybe, yeah. Like, I don't think Best Picture. I don't know. We'll save this for our Oscar podcast if we do one. But
just something I'd bring up. But anyway, overall, I had a good time.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people would have a good time. Is it a hard one to recommend? My only biggest complaint about the movie is about 2/3 of the way through, maybe 3/4 of the way through, it kind of settles down and gets a bit, I wouldn't say boring, but monotonous. And I kind of wish you could probably cut out about 15-20 minutes, keep it a little bit more snappy.
Yeah.
You'd probably still have the same, you'd still get the same amount out of it in terms of narrative, but just keep that kind of brisk pace up that they had kind of towards the start and the middle of the movie. But overall, good time.
The momentum of the journey she's going on kind of comes to a bit of a halt, I find. So I didn't love this, but I don't think it's not good.
It's because Gary doesn't like movies.
You're going to hear me say that a lot this podcast. But no, I agree with most of what you say, except that when you said the composer's done other movies, that was very wrong, babe.
I didn't say that. You said that.
Play the tape. No, yeah, so I guess for me, it's purely down to I don't particularly enjoy Yorgos Lanthimos' movies. I don't enjoy them, and I think that's the word I'm going to use because it's always just an unpleasant experience. And I think with just elements of this, it was kind of similar where I just feel like a lot of it is thrown into shock and to be outrageous in all of his movies. And I think with this, there's a lot of elements in it that I just feel were unnecessary for my enjoyment of it, but not necessarily that they weren't necessary for this movie to be good.
I'm trying to think what's.
Well, like a bit about what you said about the third act. I also just think
yeah.
kind of a lot of the stuff between her and Mark Ruffalo, and then just like there's just some unnecessary gross elements of the movie as well. There was just, but see, that's what I mean. I'm just like, and I couldn't really settle into it. But what I would say is, it's a great first movie to watch if you haven't seen any Yorgos Lanthimos' movies, because we're just gonna call him Yorgos. Because I think what's great about this one is because it's a comedy, and the other ones kind of are more awkward situational comedies with kind of kooky characters, whereas this has jokes in it. This is very, very funny. Whereas you compare it to something like The Killing of the Sacred Deer, which is a very unpleasant to watch and very unsettling watch, heavy movie. So yeah, I'd say it's definitely worth it to watch in that sense. Like you say, Emma Stone's great, Mark Ruffalo's great. I loved Mark Ruffalo in this. I had such a fun time with it. He's my favorite part of it. What else? Like you say, production design, all great. Score, yeah, I think it just didn't click for me. It's just, there was something about it. I couldn't. January Blues. That's what I'm gonna chalk it up to.
That's fair.
But yeah, and I think when it comes to the Oscars, I think it deserves a bit of like love, in the sense of like Yorgos has done some great stuff in the past and not really been recognized for it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I think.
Yeah. No,
I do have in my notes here that Bruce Banner fucks Gwen Stacy, whose dad is the Green Goblin.
Marvel.
They've got everybody.
They've got their tentacles in everything.
So yeah, that's that. Anything else to add on?
No, I think that was a good. Was that the first movie we saw of 2024 in cinema?
That was the first movie you saw, maybe.
Yeah.
I think I saw The Boy and the Heron, but that doesn't count, so I don't know.
It was the first movie that I saw in cinema. No, it wasn't.
What did you see?
I saw Priscilla and the next Goal Wins before that.
Ah, yeah, there you go. Shall we move on to The Holdovers?
Let's do it. Okay,
so this is a movie called Holdovers. It's all about, I have it written here, so this is why it sounds smart. A curmudgeony instructor at a New England prep school remains on campus during the Christmas break to babysit a handful of students with nowhere to go. He soon forms an unlikely bond with a brainy but damaged troublemaker, and with the school's head cook, a woman who just lost her son in the Vietnam War. So, for anyone who doesn't know this movie, it's got Paul Giamatti in it playing the curmudgeony instructor, like I mentioned, and he forms a great bond with these two characters. One played by Dominic Sessa, he plays Angus Tully, and Divine Joy Randolph, who plays Mary Lamb. So, who wants to see this movie? It's an Alexander Payne movie, if that means anything to anyone. He's done movies like Nebraska, The Descendants, and a movie that we both love called Sideways, also starring Paul Giamatti. But what's great about this movie is it's set in the 1970s, but also looks like it was shot in the 1970s in terms of the cinematography, the costume, like all those other kind of usual aspects of it. But then also the narrative of itself. It's a quiet little quaint 1970s movie that you'd kind of expect to get from that era of those movies that are always described as good, like underappreciated on their time and stuff. It's got the fantastic writing of a Alexander Payne script. It's got very snappy dialogue, but also very depressing dialogue, but also very heartwarming dialogue. So the movie has that sort of nice hot and cold sort of elements to it. Also that it's set over Christmas helps. It's very bittersweet as well. You get to know these characters over the break, and you're learning a bit more about them when they're initially very confrontational, but as time moves on, maybe they start to, get along a bit more because they discover more about each other's past and how they're connected in ways they didn't expect.
They open up to each other.
Yeah. So I thought it was fine. No, it is very good. It's a great little unconventional Christmas movie that infuriatingly came out in January over here. But I think this will be a lot of people's favorite Netflix Christmas movie next year if it's on Netflix. It's very, very funny. There's great little one-liners in it. Paul Giamatti, a lot of Oscar buzz around him. I feel it's very much like this is his first good dramatic role in a long time, and he's being rewarded for having a good career.
Yeah, my biggest thing is that Alexander Payne came out and said that he wrote this role for Paul Giamatti, and I feel like you shouldn't be rewarded for
playing yourself,
playing a role written for you.
Well, it's a bit of that, but also it's the character who plays so well.
Yeah,
so
it's a good
it's
job.
Not too much of a stretch.
Yeah,
but the other two performances good. Dominic Sessa is great. There's a scene of him in a gymnasium that is fantastic. And then also the Divine Joy Randolph, who what else is she in?
She's in Only Murders in the Building.
That's it. She's great in that as well. So I
this is the first time I've seen her in a dramatic role.
Yeah.
But I thought she was brilliant. I think she was for me was the standout in terms of like unexpected performance. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said there. Like I think
She's in The Lost City as well. She's great in that.
Oh yeah, she is. Yeah, very sweet. Again, slows down a bit in the third act a little bit.
David, I just don't think you have a good
I
attention
know
span.
it probably is.
No, I disagree. I know the exact moment you're kind of talking about. It's when they kind of go back to the school after the excursion, and then it's just kind of like these are just hanging around a bit now
until everything comes back. But no, very good, and I think the character development of
Paulie G
and Dominic Sessa were very good.
Love
Like he's very hard nosed at the start, and it's hard to understand why. Like, why is someone working? Why is a teacher in a school if he doesn't like working with kids, or he's so hard nosed? And you develop over time the understanding of what went on and why he has such a a confrontation.
Stick up his ass?
No, but why he doesn't like those types of kids.
Yes, that's fair.
Why he kind of paints them all in the same kind of light, or why he sees them in the same kind of light. And I thought that was good. And then you can understand for Dominic Sessa's character why he does the things he does, you know, and then, you know, it's that type of thing of you have these two kind of characters butting heads, and then by the end, it's not even that they're friends, it's that they just appreciate each other and they understand that someone may need to make sacrifices for the other. It's very good. Yeah. And like as you say, I think it'll be one of those brilliant, like unconventional Christmas movies. It's a Wonderful Life, or I'm trying to think of other ones that are on that kind of line. That's it's not Christmas, but it's like set at Christmas. Die Hard. But I really enjoyed the Alex Payne dialogue and the direction. I thought again is it 4:3?
It is. Oh, I can't recall actually. That's probably not great.
It's very grainy anyway.
Yeah.
It's that kind of added to the whole atmosphere of the narrative. But yeah.
Did
of all of all the movies we've watched this month, I think this is the one I could probably recommend to anyone. Yeah. I think
it's also it's also an hour and 40 odd minutes, isn't it? It's like an hour and 45 or something.
No, it's 1:33.
Oh, it's even less. Oh no, sorry, I'm an idiot. No, sorry, I thought you were talking about
133 minutes.
Oh, it's actually. Oh wow, okay, that didn't feel that long when I watched it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, but anyway, I think sorry, I'm just looking through the list. I think it would be probably the one I would recommend to everyone. I think anyone could kind of flick this on and you probably get some sort of enjoyment out of it. But yeah, absolutely. Again.
And did Paul Hunnam remind you of anyone
in school? Like, you hate everything.
Yeah,
you hate Christmas.
I saw him like failing all those kids, and I was like, good.
That's why I couldn't understand why you didn't like it.
We've had this discussion before.
Was it too close to home?
That's the thing where I felt that you observed that I don't like movies where I'm the character in it, and I'm just like, boo, that's just what people are like. How is that anything different? Same with this and with the Up in the Air.
Yeah, exactly. You're the exact same as the guy in the Up in the Air.
I am George Clooney. You're right, David.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, very solid watch.
You got that Nespresso money,
David. I wish. Shall we move on to Priscilla?
Yeah, sure.
Was there anything else you wanted to say about the Holdovers?
I was probably just going to say Divine Joy Randolph. I think she probably deserves the Oscar in supporting actress. Again, I'm jumping around.
Out of that list?
Or Colour Purple. What's the girl name in Colour Purple?
Oh, Danielle Brooks.
Yeah, she supporting. Yeah. I think it's a head-to-head between those two.
They'll give it to Divine Joy
Randolph. Yeah.
My thing about Danielle Brooks is, we'll say for...
Yeah,
whatever. She did that role on Broadway.
Oh, did she? Okay, yeah, fair enough. I've not seen it on Broadway.
Oh, David, you must check it out. Oh, you must. So, David, you need to get to the theatre more, David.
Can't afford it.
You don't have that Nespresso money like I do.
There's no Omni Pass for the theatre.
David, I think we could make a lot of money if we brought one in. Priscilla, tell me all about it.
Okay, so Priscilla is a story
What's
about Priscilla. Can't remember her actual name.
Priscilla.
No, before she married.
Priscilla before Presley.
I wonder what I'll have it here.
Priscilla Presley?
No, it's just Priscilla. Okay, Priscilla. You know Priscilla.
I'll find it. Oh no, never mind. Keep going.
Anyway,
I'll find the worst time to interrupt you to tell you the name.
This is the biopic about Priscilla Presley, who famously married Elvis Presley back in.
Baloo is her name. Beaulieu.
That's way too many vowels.
Baloo. Baloo.
You have a stroke.
Presley Ballou.
Priscilla Blue.
Sorry. I was reading for. No, I just like somebody's like, oh, blue. No, that'd be too simple. Blue.
Priscilla is a biopic about...
Well, her maternal name is Wagner. That helps.
No, wait, what?
No, she was born Wagner. Okay. Priscilla Wagner. Then it goes N. You know the thing where it's like knee.
Yeah.
It says knee Wagner.
Yeah.
Formerly Ballou. But her name was Priscilla Ann Presley. But either Wagner or Ballou would work.
Priscilla is the biopic
Give
about Priscilla Presley.
Come on.
When she married, who famously married Elvis Presley.
Mm-hmm. So she had to drop her surname.
Yeah, exactly. If you don't know the story, she met Elvis while her family and he were posted in Germany.
Oh, I didn't know that. Or maybe I did.
This must be post World War II. It must be it has to be post War. Sorry, I'm getting my dates all wrong. So they're in a US Army base and they meet at a house party, and it kind of it sprouts from their relationship, and she ends up anyway falling in love with he ends up falling in love with her. Anyway, they go back and to Graceland in Memphis, and yeah, we go through the same sort of issues that we seen in the Baz Luhrmann Elvis movie. It was last year.
A bad accent and bad makeup.
2 years ago, was it?
2022.
Yeah, we see the same thing except it's from her point of view, and Elvis.
So that must be better, yes.
Elvis is the authoritarian person. Anyway, this film is very hard to watch. I wouldn't say. Is it unenjoyable? It's unenjoyable.
Unpleasant.
It's unpleasant.
Unsettling.
So the biggest thing for me is, and it's, if anyone knows the story, she was 14 when she met Elvis, who was at least, he had to be at least in his 20s. If he was he was in the army. And the film does a really weird job. So she's studying in a diner. She's doing, I don't know, homework and stuff. And instead of like Elvis being the person that like introduces himself or like, what do you know?
Oh, there's 10 years between them.
10 years, okay. So instead of Elvis being the person that like introduces himself, and wants to get to know, it's like a friend of Elvis invites her.
That's showbiz, baby. That's how it's done.
To a house party at his house with his wife. And then it's like his friend and his wife are the ones that convince Priscilla's mom and dad to let her go. Oh. And then when they're at the party, Elvis introduces himself and, they start coming to, but it's really unpleasant.
Okay.
And then, of course, like when, as the story goes on, they go to Graceland and she's like almost a prisoner there. Like she can't leave. She can't even go outside because there's so many like press and there's so many paparazzi and fans. And like it would look bad if she's does anything on the lawn or something like that, which it would look bad in Elvis. And then Elvis himself,
played by Jacob
Elordi. Sorry, I should have said Katie Spaney plays Priscilla, and it's very good, I will say. And sorry, where was I going? Anyway,
she can't do anything on the lawn. Yeah,
sorry, Elvis as a character in this, like when we see him in the movie Elvis by Baz Luhrmann, he seems like this timid, soft character. In this, he's like the total opposite. He's like dark. He's like, I don't know.
He's all shook up.
No, but it's like, I don't know if it's mentally, he's very like bipolar. Like he'll just switch and just like become very aggressive at times. But yeah, personally, I didn't enjoy it. I know some people probably really enjoyed it. They probably kind of, they could really kind of grasp onto Priscilla's story, but it's not enjoyable. It's not, there's no levity in it. Mm-hmm. And then even by the end, it's like, it's kind of, there's no.
Would you say, no, I haven't seen it, so would you say it's a story that needed to be told, but just is told in a poor way to not sort of allow better audience engagement with the piece? Do you know what I mean? Because there's another movie we're going to be talking about later where there's a tragedy occurring and it's almost not showing it is a way of being able to talk about it for an audience to kind of settle into it. It's out of interest. Whereas this is, you're seeing it and it's just hard to watch.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just there's not much to it. Like a lot of the movie is just spent with her trapped in the house.
Just one note, is it?
Not even one note. Yeah, it's a kind of one note. But it's like it's kind of so up and down because like there's some bits where everything's going well and they're going out and she seems to be, but she still seems unsettled by the whole situation because of course there's such a big age gap.
Yeah.
And like she like this the weird thing is like she's living in, I keep thinking Neverland, Graceland. She's living in Graceland and going to school, like going to high school.
Oh,
and he's on tour.
That's weird.
Yeah.
No, I don't like that.
Yeah. And then like there's bits where like she's cheating in tests. She cheats in tests by offering her classmates like a chance. Oh, we'll bring you over to the house or we'll let you meet Elvis.
The other teenagers.
Yeah, other teenagers.
Cool. That's a safe environment.
So like, can you imagine like the unsettling kind of nature?
Nah.
And I can understand like it probably is a story that needed to be told, but there just needed to be some sort of levity in it.
Yes.
In like even like her
having a win or having a moment.
Something. Even if it's just like she leaves her family in Germany when she's like 15 or 16 or something, and I don't think she really meets them again. I can't remember if I don't think she meets them again throughout the movie, which is like, that just seems like really hard. And yeah, like Elvis is just this kind of overbearing character and she doesn't let her do anything, and it's just he tries to be like, there's bits where he's like, he doesn't let her wear certain things, or like she wants to buy these clothes. He's buying clothes for her and she tries on stuff that she likes, and he's like, no, that doesn't suit you, change out of that, get that one or whatever. So it's like that sort of overbearing character.
Yeah.
And like, as you say, I think it is something that needs to be told, or needed to be. I think it's a good story, but it's just for me, I was just so beaten down by it the whole time, because you're starting from such a low ebb and it never increases to a level where you're even like enjoying yourself at all. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's just something I missed, but yeah, it personally just didn't really click with me. Like, it's just heavy going. That's the best way I can describe it. It's just heavy.
Yeah.
Dark.
Okay. Yeah. Well, let's move on to something a bit lighter, shall we?
Yeah. The other thing, like, I think it's a well assembled movie. The other thing though is the color palette is so bland. Like, for something like, do you remember it was so hard to go from like Elvis and Baz Luhrmann to this, and like maybe that was a choice. There's also another thing I meant to say is, the chemistry between Katie Spaney and Jacob Elordi is questionable at times. Okay. And I think they're both doing a good job individually, but there's a point in the movie where she meets another guy and he's just playing like a normal guy, and she's trying to get away from that environment, like environment of stardom. So she's like trying to be a normal person, and they have like this 30-second conversation, and you're like, wow, they have a really good chemistry together. And it's like, again, I don't know if that's what they were going for, but it was very hard to take that, like, Katie Spaney has this really good chemistry with this side character for like 30 seconds. And it's better than what we've seen. Okay. So maybe it's something they were going for, but it was just something I noticed. Yeah. Strange. But anyway, yeah.
Have you ever seen any other Sofia Coppola movies? Seen Lost in
Translation?
Yeah.
Which, I don't know, like, I think you could have done the same thing though with Bill Murray, and like Bill Murray's character is
like alone and sad.
Yeah, but there's some levity in. I think there's a lot more levity in
absolutely. You got Bill Murray in it.
Yeah. So I don't know.
I know, it's just I didn't go see it because I had watched The Virgin Suicides and I wasn't a fan at all. And then Lost in Translation I've always thought is fine. Yeah. But then I watched Marie Antoinette this morning. I was like, that's kick ass. It's got the Strokes in it, David. It's great.
In the movie?
The song The Strokes is like, it's banging soundtrack. Yeah. It's great. So then I was like, maybe I'll watch Priscilla, but you've successfully talked me out of it anyway.
I would like to hear your opinions on it.
Fine, I'll get around to it.
But like, just wait until it's on stream. And like, again, it didn't receive any nominations or anything like that. No. But maybe it could have been something to do with funding or something like that. Yeah. Anyway, sorry,
we'll pick it up a bit more.
Yeah. What's next?
Slavery and racism and sexism.
Great.
In America in the early 1900s.
That's brilliant. Yeah. Let's just bring this down another note.
So we're going to talk about a movie called The Color Purple, which is basically about two sisters who are torn apart in the early 1900s when one of them has to be married off to this older and more abusive man. A conflict occurs where the youngest daughter, Nettie, of the two girls is forced out of the home and is said if she ever comes back here, she will be killed by this guy called Mister, played by Coleman Domingo. And basically what happens then is the story then unfolds about Celie, who is our main character, the older sister to Nettie, and how she is sort of been thrust into this situation of years of abuse and torment from this guy called Mister, having to put up with his ratty children and just dealing with all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But then there are some moments of levity that come throughout the movie. Of Harpo, one of the children, marries a fantastic character played by Danielle Brooks called Sophia. There's also the love of Mister's life, who he never married, called Shug Avery. It comes into the picture as well as another ally of Celie. She's played by Tarisha P. Henson. And basically it's sort of slowly...
She's very flamboyant.
Very flamboyant. And she slowly but surely then, Celie starts to come out of her shell when these sort of strong women come into her life, and she starts to get a bit more resilience towards the sort of situation she's been placed in. So if people don't know, this has been based on a 1982 novel by an author whose name I forget, but I'll find it in a sec. It was also famously adapted for the screen before in 1985 by Steven Spielberg, quite controversially at the time as well.
Yeah.
And it then went on to become a musical then, a Broadway musical. It had a load of different runs in the West End as well. And now they have made a cinematic adaptation again, but of that musical. Yeah. So if anyone's seen the original, there's no songs in it. There's songs in this one though.
So this is an adaptation of an adaptation.
It's an adaptation of the musical adaptation of the novel.
Oh, yeah.
But what's really infuriating is, and I'll save my thoughts a bit later, is there are parts of the musical they don't put in this movie, but there's parts of the movie adaptation that they do put in this movie.
Sorry, wait, have you seen the musical?
Not seen the musical.
Oh.
I just read about this because I was trying to figure out what was chopped and changed. And then I read the plot for the book then just to see what was changed, because I've seen the 1985 one. Big fan of it, so I was going into it with those expectations. So, what is good about this, and what makes it sort of a good watch? So, some great costume design, production design really makes you feel that sort of early 1900s setting. You've got some great performances by Danielle Brooks. We mentioned her earlier; she's nominated for an Oscar for Best Supporting Actress. You've got Fantasia Barrino, who plays
her first movie. I think.
First movie, but again, she played the character on Broadway. The flamboyant Tarisha P. Henson, as you mentioned earlier. Coleman Domingo, nominated for an Oscar for this year.
I was actually going to say, I couldn't have told you who Coleman Domingo was before this year, but he's having a great year.
He's having a great year. He's been in loads of stuff.
He's in Lincoln.
He's Candyman.
In Ma Rainey's Black Bottom.
Yeah.
He's in Selma, another movie about Martin Luther King.
If you need an old-timey movie, he's your man.
He's in Transformers.
Rise of the Beasts.
Yeah. I was going to say, I didn't know which one. But yeah, like, he's in Drive Away Dolls. I don't know if you've seen the trailer for that.
Looks quite good.
Yeah, but like, before this year, I couldn't have told you who he was. But he's having a great year.
You've also got her as well, playing Squeak. You've got a Hailey Bailey.
Wait, who?
Her. She's an artist. She's a singer.
Okay.
She's quite good. But anyway, so she's in it as well. Hailey Bailey, who is known as Ariel from The Little Mermaid's in it for very briefly too.
Was this film before she was big or something?
Yeah, no, it was while she had been announced she was going to be Ariel.
Okay,
but before it came out, so
yeah,
you didn't know how it was going to land.
I thought they would have leaned into her character a bit more, just for.
Well, it's very funny in the 19 again. So I'm going to talk a lot about the 1985 version, just because I kind of have to, because they're two movies that deal with the same novel.
Yeah.
And I think one is much better than the other, unfortunately, which is the 1985 version. However...
I have something to say about the Banana Gun.
So it's not fair to compare the two whatsoever. I completely get that. But it's purely from the narrative perspective of things are left out of from the 1985 one that makes the narrative a lot stronger.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate that they weren't in this musical element.
Yeah, okay.
Because they had to make space for songs.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I think there's some good ones.
So the problem is that you bring too much...
100%.
Too much levity for the situations that the characters are in.
Exactly. So, but this is what I read online of someone saying that, like, it's almost like that's what the characters have to do to get through this tragedy, is to think of these big song and dance numbers, because the only way to get through these horrible things that are happening is thinking of these sing-song scenarios kind of things, which makes sense. But as an audience member, I just think the tones are too few and like they're just so far apart, where you have like scenes about rape and all this sort of stuff, and then they're singing and dancing on top of tables, and it's just for me, I felt a bit of a disconnect.
Now it could be like... It could be different for people of that background.
Oh, because 100%.
Because, like, it's because like you take movies, for example, 12 Years a Slave, and you take movies, I'm trying to think of other like the things about the Underground Railroad, stuff like that. Anyway, they are very heavy handed. So instead of making a remake or doing a remake of Steven Spielberg's Color Purple, which you say is quite heavy and deals with a lot of those situations, is it not a thing to be celebrating these women and doing it in a musical sense? So again, but the other point I was going to make is, and it's a complaint you made, and the complaint is completely valid, that the ending of the original one, and maybe I don't know if it's in the book or not, the ending of Steven Spielberg's original one, interaction between two characters, one character deals with that situation differently than they do in this. I think the theme they bring into this movie, and again, it could be in the other one, might not, but what I saw was that they used the idea of forgiveness and religion, and not that I'm a huge fan of religion, but I think the idea of forgiveness is a huge part of this film, and that's where that idea or that ending kind of changes. But again, it's something that I got from it. I can understand if someone had a bit of complaint about it.
Yeah, which is funny because in the novel, actually, religion is a way bigger part of it than any of these two. But what I will say is, like, it's just there's so for a bit of context as well. People at the time were giving out about Spielberg directing The Color Purple because they were like, a white guy shouldn't be doing this. Quincy Jones, famous musical man,
he
producer,
produced, didn't he? Yeah.
He produced the original, and he was like, no, I'm getting the best director in the world to tell this story. Yeah. And like, my God, there are scenes in that. There's one scene in particular, if anyone has seen it, about Oprah, who plays Sophia, the character Danielle Brooks plays, about having to drive a car and being let home for Christmas. And it's honestly one of the most gut-wrenching scenes you'll ever see. And it wasn't in this. And there's a big scene at a dinner table that happens in both movies.
Okay, yeah.
First of all, in the 1985 one, the speech, the one Oprah gives, apparently Steven Spielberg's note was, just say what you think the character would say. And it's just an unbelievable monologue. Yeah. I don't think it had the same kick in this either. But also, the dinner scene is so much more impactful based on a scene that happens at Christmas earlier. So it's those sort of things that I didn't like, where it was just like,
they cut something out and the reference is kind of lost.
Not the reference, but just the payoff from it. And again, like you referenced about characters and forgiveness, some of that feels so undermined then because some nasty stuff happens. Yeah. But yet it's glossed over then.
I know, yeah.
So that's what infuriated me. Also, so anyway, Spielberg was given out for actually treating the subject matter too lightly and too softly back in 1995. And this, I feel like, is even way more diluted down in that sense. But like you say, it's a thing to be celebrated. It's a thing to sort of be a bit more uplifting. Yeah. Because, for context, it's not too much of a spoiler. So, Celie has two kids at the beginning of she has two kids, but both by her father, the woman, the man who raises her and her daughter. But so he actually takes them away, so she doesn't actually get to take these children and raise them. So he takes them and gives them to God. He says in both versions. In this movie, she's like, she gets to nurse them. She's like, oh, can I just have another day? And he goes, no, I'm taking the baby. In the 1985 one, that motherfucker takes the baby right away, like doesn't even let her touch her, and it's like he's played by what's his name, oh my god, I forget his name, from Lethal Weapon, Danny Glover. Danny Glover is such a little prick. He's such a prick in the night. Like, I think Colin DeRigo is also pretty good, but Danny
well, he
Glover,
doesn't play the father in this version.
You're right, he doesn't. Who plays the father? No, sorry.
Danny Glover play?
No, Danny Glover plays Mr. Shit. Okay, I've got that confused. Who plays the... Anyway, they're so much more sinister. Yeah. And it's a typical Spielberg thing to be like, dads are pricks, aren't they? Yeah. Let me write him even being more pricky. Yeah. So I actually think there's elements... Anyway, like I said before, it's elements of it. But if you're looking for a fun, decent, solid watch of a musical, I wouldn't say this is the worst thing to watch. It's a bit too long, but it's a fun time.
I did see a lot of complaints about how Wonka is the highest grossing musical of the last few weeks when this probably should be. Yeah, I could agree with you.
Better singers in this?
Yeah, there are. It's a more important story. No, I agree with you there. Like it's kind of a down the middle story, but I feel like this is a type of thing that would hit certain individuals a lot harder. And I'm talking not our gender, not our ethnicity, not our nationality. I think it's hard to. I get the story, but it's hard to really feel it.
Yeah. I will also say there's a great scene. You know the scene where she's in the car and she goes, "But I'm here." He's like,
sorry, yeah, when she's leaving,
yeah, that's actually pretty good in this one. That's how I was like, she did a great job. Yeah. So there's elements of that are pretty good. But shall we move on? Or anything else? Yeah. So I'm going to tell people about what I saw the other day, or the segment I like to call "Tell You What I Saw the Other Day." I only really have 3 They're not even like the best movies you've ever seen. But I've 3 movies that I think people should check out.
Okay.
So I'm going to start with one called Naiad.
Yeah.
Because it's a bit of a shock Oscar-nominated movie because a lot of people were expecting Margot Robbie to be nominated for Barbie, and then all of a sudden people were like, Annette Bening for...
Made a movie?
Yeah, Naiad, Netflix, Jodie Foster. But no, it's a really sweet movie, and it's a nice little sports movie about this woman who is she was 28 years old, she was a marathon swimmer, she used to swim for like 24 hours plus in these horrible conditions, and one day she sets herself the goal of swimming from Cuba to Florida. It doesn't work out. She retires from the sport, and then 30 years later, she's like, you know what, I might have another stab at that. And she teams up with her best mate and coach, Jodie Foster, and it's just the two of them being like, let's fucking do this.
Didn't really like it.
I know. I had a really fun time with that. And you know me, I don't like sweet, heartwarming movies, and I had a fun time with this.
I just didn't like her character at all.
Yeah, see, do you know what? Because that's you.
It's not me.
You're Annette Bening, David.
I'm not Annette Bening.
You're Annette Bening, David. You're always out running, i.e. swimming. You're swimming on the paths. That's what I call you.
Swimming on the paths. I don't know. I didn't want her to succeed. I'm like, get over yourself. Grow up.
Yeah. What about Jodie Foster though? She's fun.
Jodie Foster's lovely in this.
Yeah.
And I think the team is quite nice in it.
Reef Evans.
Yeah, he's good in it.
He's good.
And you know what? Actually, when they showed the montage at the end, he looks exactly like
yeah, doesn't he?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, definitely shouldn't. Like, I don't know. It shouldn't be either.
Oh, for nominations? Oh no, it's because there's a lot of old Academy members who are like, old women can do things. Sorry, I'm not being too general there, but like, there's always one. There's always a few old actors that just get nominations. Like, not even old actors, but like Hollywood staples that just if they do something half decent, they get a nomination because they have friends. Yeah,
and like, as I said, I think Jodie Foster was actually quite good in it, but not nomination good.
I'd agree.
Now, and like I will say, Annette Bening probably put a lot into it in terms of the swimming.
They both looked great, didn't
they?
They were both like, there was that scene Annette Bening was doing all the like push-ups and sit-ups and stuff. I was like, you go, Annette Bening. I bet you could take Brie Larson again if you were to go for round of fisticuffs and marbles too.
It does come back to that complaint you have about people playing real life characters.
I agree.
Yeah, so yeah, it was more the sense that I watched it, and this always seems to happen, that I watch movies after they've been nominated, or after they've got a lot of hype, and I've just it didn't click with me.
Put it this way, I'd rather nominate Rachel McAdams for There Gotta Be Margaret than Jodie Foster for Naiad. But what you gonna do? Anything you've seen the other day, David?
I was gonna say Society of the Snow. So it's nominated for
more sports stars,
foreign language film.
This must be uplifting too, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's nominated for foreign language film at the Oscars. So it's based on a true story. A Uruguayan rugby team are traveling from Uruguay to Chile for I presume it was a tour, maybe it was a holiday, whatever. Anyway, their plane crash lands in the Andes Mountains, and they're stranded there for 71 days.
Oh, I didn't know it was that long.
I think it was 71 days.
Fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty grim. Like, I've never seen a plane crash. I've never seen such a visceral plane crash.
Oh, really? Not even in Lost, season 1, episode 1.
I've never seen Lost.
That blows my mind. Continue.
No, sorry.
No, it's fine. I'm not going to tell you to watch it. Just
no. Very good performances and a great directing. I really think like
Jay Bayona.
He
does tragedy well.
He got fucked around a bit by Hollywood.
Yeah.
So I think this is like kind of just shows what sort of qualities he has. Acting is all good. You wouldn't know anyone in the movie. It's all kind of unknowns, but it's tough watch.
Okay.
It's heavy going. And then by the end it's very emotional, like, but as you can imagine, but heavy going, but definitely give it a look.
Don't look into
what's happened. It's definitely give it a look. I can't recommend it, like, be like, oh, you have to go out and see it, but if it's something you're kind of interested in, seeing where it goes, what happens.
If you're looking for a good movie to sink your teeth into.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. I watched the English dubs and it seemed fine.
I've heard the English dub was quite good.
Yeah. I just couldn't be bothered reading.
No, that's fine. Yeah.
2 hours.
You also recently watched a 4-hour movie that was all subtitled, so I think you've earned a bit of credit.
What was that?
The Elephant Sitting Down or something.
Oh, yeah. Elephant Sitting Still.
Yeah.
Another heavy going.
No, you don't need to reread those sometimes. Can I pick it up again with a bit of Quiz Lady on Disney Plus?
Wow, okay.
So I'm back again with a nice female duo. This time it's Aquafina and Sandra Oh, and Aquafina is really, like, her character, really good at quizzes. She does them all the time, and Sandra Oh's character is just the insane, annoying sibling. So they've kind of switched roles.
Yeah.
They're both playing against type. But basically, there's this quiz show that's always on, and they need to make a book quick. And Sandra Oh's character, who's a bit of a wheeler dealer, is like, hey, we can make money by putting her in the thing, but she's a bit of a shy woman, so she doesn't want to do it, but she gets tricked into going on it, and she has to try and beat the longest reigning champion of that quiz show, played by Jason Schwartzman. And
Jason Schwartzman,
another
Jason Schwartzman.
It was his fourth movie. That was his fourth project last year. And Awkwafina's character idolizes the host of the TV show, which is played by Will Ferrell. It wouldn't surprise you to hear that this is a Gloria Sanchez production, who've done wonderful movies like Booksmart, Barb and Star Go to Visit Del Mar. It's just really solid.
Who directs this?
A person who's probably done movies before.
Let's cut that.
I don't know. One sec.
No, I just wanted to know if it was anyone.
Nobody comes to mind as like Jessica Yu. She has done movies like In the Realms of the Unreal and Ping Pong Playa, and those sound bad. This is good. This is really fun.
And it's on Disney Plus.
It's on Disney Plus. I think it only went on to Disney Plus.
Yeah.
She hasn't really done many other movies.
This could be her big break.
Oh, maybe not. Like, I don't know. Like, it's not like,
and it's funny.
It's funny, man. Okay. It's really funny. And I think the two girls are great. And then there's also like, do you ever watch 2.5 Men?
Yeah.
You know Charlie's mom and that.
Yeah.
I think that's the same actress in this. She plays next door neighbor. No. Oh. She's also in a lot of episodes of The Morning Show. I think if it's the same person I'm thinking of.
Oh, fuck, Arrested Development.
You're thinking of Arrested Development, yeah. They're very similar. Yeah. But anyway, she's also very funny in it as well. It's just a really solid watch if you're looking for just a fun comedy on, like, a Sunday afternoon. And it's a great chance to see Awkwafina, like, not being Awkwafina.
Yeah, be different.
Yeah. So I'd like, I wouldn't, again, wouldn't absolutely rush out to go watch it, but definitely a fun comedy to check out.
Speaking of Arrested Development, I was just going to mention there, Carl Weathers.
Oh, man, yeah.
That's tough going, isn't it?
Very tough going.
What an actor! What a career! Like,
yeah.
I was just sorry. I was just checking to see there what age he was.
It's only 72 or something.
That can't be right. 52, 76? No,
76. Okay, maybe. It was 70s or something. I remember just being a bit.
76. No, what a career! Like
Predator,
Arrested Development, Apollo Creed, Arrested Development, Happy Gilmore.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, incredible.
Very sad.
Sad to see him go, but he's left such a legacy. Sorry, just when you mentioned Arrested Development.
Look, I don't post much on the Instagram.
Yeah.
But when I saw he passed, I just remember that was like that scene in Arrested Development I love so much. Anyway.
I'm gonna mention a movie which unfortunately is on no streaming services, but it's so good. Yeah. It's such a good movie.
Now, David,
if you ever get a chance to see it.
David, I really want to put this into context. Remember when we had a podcast a while ago, like the last one we did, where we gave Oppenheimer the movie of the year, and we were like really stereotypical film bros in their mid to late, closer to late now 20s who are white. Just context. Just before you say what you're going to say, I just want people to know that's the type of people we are.
Yeah.
What are you going to recommend, David?
Yeah, I was going to recommend Ali by Michael Mann.
No,
I was going to recommend 2001: A Space Odyssey. It is incredible. That movie came out in
1962.
1968.
That's close.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. I didn't really understand what was going on at the end, but
you're not meant to.
You're not meant to, yeah. Sorry, and I know it's not on any streaming services, but it's so good.
Yeah, and it's like, and to go back to Arrested Development, there's a great line Tobias Funke has, like, how do you do that? And just watching the end of that movie, it's like 1960. They hadn't even put a man on the moon, David.
No.
How are they doing this?
How did they film the moon?
Yeah, very good. And do you know what? Like, people have seen the Simpsons episode about the parody on Hal.
Yeah.
It's still great, even though you kind of know what's going to happen.
Oh, I didn't know the ending. I did actually.
No, not the ending. You know the bit.
Yeah, no, I know the bit with Hal.
Yeah. The ending, I had no idea.
And the greatest thing about this movie, and it's probably not a good thing, but the actors don't overshadow the movie. Like, imagine if there was like a
Brad Pitt,
Harrison Ford.
Oh yeah.
They're kind of like, not that they're unknowns. I'm sure they went on to have good careers, but like it's like the movie is more of the thing than the actors. Yeah, it's just It's just incredible.
Yeah. That is cinema, David.
That is cinema.
My God.
And it's on all these lists. If you take 2 hours out of your day.
It's one of those ones where
it lives up to the hype.
It lives up to the hype. That's exactly it. Yeah. Where it's like, it's not when you get told to watch The Deer Hunter and then you watch it and then it's 40 minutes into this 2-hour, 40-minute movie or nearly 3-hour movie and you're just like, they're still on the wedding scene and it's just boring and piss. But 2001 Space Odyssey, not boring.
Snappy,
visually engrossing.
Yeah.
The score, David.
That's incredible.
Great stuff.
Yeah, I know it's not on any streaming services, but you know,
You can rent. I checked it. You could rent it on Google or Apple TV for $3.99. That's a cup of coffee in some places.
That is a bargain in most places.
Can I do my last one?
What is your last one?
And Justice for All.
Oh, nice.
Dave, I told you'd love this movie.
I'm getting to it.
So it's Al Pacino. He is one of the best lawyers in a place where I forget.
It must be
Chicago, Boston, New York,
Philly.
wherever you expect Pacino
Pittsburgh.
to be. So he is just he's a lawyer. He's stressed out. The corruption in the justice system is driving him insane. Where he has this guy who's clearly innocent, but the judge is just like, no, you submitted the evidence 2 days late. I can't accept it. So he's dealing with all this sort of stuff. He's wheeling and dealing, trying to get offers, or trying to get bargains, trying to like do the best by his clients. He's a public defender, so he's assigned cases. But all of a sudden it comes out that one of the corrupt judges that he absolutely hates has been charged with rape. And the judge is like, oh well, I'm gonna get Al Pacino to represent me because he's the best. So Pacino's like, no, I won't, because I hate you. And he goes, well, actually, you did these certain, it's not too much fun, like you did these certain things in the past, and there's a review coming up, and I can make life hell for you, and then you won't be able to help all these people, so you gotta help me now. And it's funny because usually you'd expect Pacino to be the kind of the crazy one, the loose cannon, if you've seen Heat.
Yeah.
He's not. Everyone else is, and he's the most sane person in the movie, and he's just trying to deal with all these crazy people. There's a judge who's just trying to kill himself the whole time and takes Pacino up on a helicopter ride. It's just insane, and Pacino's just like, and he's working with Jeffrey Tambor from Arrested Development. And he's a bit tapped as well, and he's just trying to do his job, and everyone's making it so hard for him. If people don't know the movie, they would know it most definitely from its famous quote at the end of this movie where he's like, "You're out of order. This whole courtroom is out of order." I'll cut that if it doesn't sound good, but that's where it comes from. And I will say, the last courtroom scene is just excellent and worth the watch in that sense. So I'd say definitely give it a go. It's a bit oddly paced because a lot of it feels like sketches because you're just seeing weird characters.
Is it supposed to be a comedy or is it supposed to be a drama?
I think it's a bit more of like a satire in a way. So like I wouldn't say it's an absolute home run or anything like that.
Fair.
But I just think if you're looking for like just a good kind of like classic cinema watch and a great Pacino performance. And he's so good at shouting at the end. My review was, I could see why directors are like, oh, just shout for the whole, you're just great at shouting.
No, it's on my list. I'll get to it. Amazon Prime,
yeah. Right,
good job.
We move on.
Next movie is a movie called One Life. What I will say about this movie, absolutely worth a watch. I don't want to ruin it for anyone.
It's the Nazis lost.
I don't want to ruin it for anyone, but if you do know the story about Nicholas Winton, the big issue for me,
great publication,
at the end was that I knew what was going to happen.
Okay,
and the emotional depth or the emotional strike of the movie happens.
Good punch.
I knew it was going to happen, but I can imagine if you went in kind of blind. And not knowing where it was going, that it would feel a lot more visceral, more
emotive, raw.
Exactly. So this is a film about World War II. The Nazis have invaded the Sudetenland, which is land kind of in the south east of Germany, Czechoslovakia. They've annexed it and are making their way into Czechoslovakia. Nick Swinton is a banker who decides that he's going to take some time away from his role in the bank and is going to start helping in the effort to get refugees out of Czechoslovakia into the UK. He is so it jumps from modern day late 90s, let's say, where he's played by Anthony Hopkins, to World War II, 1939, let's say, where he's played by Johnny Flynn. Both performances are very good. I've only seen Johnny Flynn in a couple of things, but I thought he was really good in this, very emotional. Anthony Hopkins is great, he's great in everything. Helena Bonham Carter plays his mother back in the day in the 1930s. She's brilliant as well. She does a couple of moments where she's kind of helping him from the British end where she needs to get visas and stuff, and she's kind of a hard-nosed, I don't take any shit, give me what I need, which is brilliant. She's good at doing that. very emotional movie. Sorry,
Scream that.
sorry, a very emotional movie.
Thank you very much.
And short enough. I think it's like 1 hour 40, but definitely worth a watch. It's kind of in that realm of kind of British film. You know, I'm trying to think of one.
Dialogue heavy, no nonsense, serious with the odd comedy laugh.
Goof,
yeah.
And
A bit of a King's Speech.
yeah, I wouldn't even say that. It's just opposite to what I was saying about Priscilla. There are obviously very heavy moments throughout this, but there is levity and there's moments of hope, which I thought was very good, which is I think what was missing in Priscilla. But anyway, great performances throughout. It's not going to be anything that's, you know, mind blowing or anything, but if you don't know the story about Nicholas Winton, and especially when it comes to the moment towards the end, I thought it was beautiful. But I kind of knew what was happening. I'd seen that clip before. A little bit kind of rambling towards the end. I wish they kind of
David has no attention span, we're aware.
A little bit snappier. I think we wish they had got to it a bit sooner. Because again, because I knew where I was going anyway. But yeah, definitely worth the watch. Some raw visceral moments.
Same director as Smithereens, the Black Mirror episode with Andrew Scott, and also Hated in the Nation, the one with the bees.
Yeah, I can see that. It's that sort of vibe.
I'm surprised they didn't get him for the beekeeper.
Again,
wow.
not huge.
Yeah.
Actually, the other thing I was going to say is it's a re-teaming of the two popes. Was Anthony Hopkins one of the two popes?
He was, yeah.
Yeah, Jonathan Price is in this as well.
Oh, is he? I didn't know that. I didn't see that. Oh, okay.
So he plays one of his friends.
The other pope.
Yeah, so that's kind of a nice little thing.
Two popes.
Yeah.
I was going to say as well, so what's really funny is, so Johnny Flynn only plays biographical characters.
Yeah.
Between Ian Fleming, David Bowie, someone else probably. And I've just seen here there's someone in the cast called Ziggy. Ziggy Heath plays a young Martin Blake.
Yeah. He plays the young Jonathan Price.
There you go. I hope the young Jonathan Price. Do you think they should get Ziggy Heath and Johnny Flynn to put them in a movie called Young Popes? Because there's the Young Pope with Jude Law.
Yeah.
Young Popes.
Young Popes. That sounds like a Bowie song.
I am just printing money for Hollywood. Yeah. Wow, that's a really uplifting story about World War II.
Yeah, here we are.
Let's move on to the zone of interest, David. And it's all basically about the commandant of Auschwitz, Rudolf Hess. Hess. No, Huss.
Oh, no?
Yes, because it's Hoss. Huss.
Hess?
I saw one of them, Mark Commode was, not Mark Commode, the other one.
Mayo
was saying how he knows the pronunciation. I'm going to say Rudolph, though, which makes it sound funnier than it is. But yeah, we'll go with it. Yeah. And basically, he is the commandant, the manager of Auschwitz, if to say a word like that. And he is living with his family who live next door. And with his wife Hedwig and their children. And basically this is a movie that sort of takes us through the day-to-day mundane nature of their life in a sense, because the movie, none of this is a spoiler too much, but basically the movie never goes into Auschwitz. It's always taking place outside. So whether it be, you know, one of the kind of starting story elements of the movie is that Hedwig's mother's coming over and they're getting the house ready and they're making sure everything's clean and everything's laid out, and the mother comes in and Hedwig's showing her around and being like, oh, and here's where we're planting these things, and then the mother's like, yeah, but that's Auschwitz though, right? Like, you're beside Auschwitz. And that's kind of what this movie is. It's giving us sort of a glimpse into how people sort of operated on a day-to-day basis and how some of it was just so commonplace. But what the movie does so well is the sort of haunting shadow that Auschwitz sort of has throughout the movie. So not only visually, where you can kind of see the buildings over the wall, you can see the smoke, you can see the trains coming in, but also the sound, where you can hear just horrific sounds of some of the stuff that's taking place in there. So yeah, it's kind of like, it's really difficult to sit through in that sense. However, I didn't enjoy it not because of those reasons, but because the narrative never really goes anywhere. It kind of just feels like it's very one note in that sense, where it's just a lot of that for an hour and 30 minutes. There's different developments of Rudolph has to be like sent away, and you know, he's trying to get back, and there's talks of like new projects and stuff like that, but we don't really see any sort of consequential payoffs for any of these elements that have brought in. It's all very, very subtle. Also, and I just feel like from a personal element of why I feel like I might not have enjoyed this movie is because myself and you went to Auschwitz, and I feel like a lot of the things the movie was doing, we had kind of gone through when we went on that tour. If people haven't been on that tour, it's really, really good. One of the best tours I think I've ever been on, because not only is it educational, but like you had the person doing our tour was someone studying World War II, and just the reverence and the sort of common way he spoke about it,
the understanding
of it, and just being able to say things, being like, and here's where this took place, not for any sort of like oh, I bet you feel bad about that kind of thing. It's very much of like, no, it's important these things are said and these things are spoken about, which I feel like this movie is trying to do in some way as well, because it's trying to be like, it's important to know of what actually kind of happened in there and how people acted around that time. So and it's done by Jonathan Glazer, who's done other movies like Sexy Beast and Under the Skin. The score is great. It's got this weird like
twangy, isn't it?
Like, wah, wah. It's got a great score in that sense. Visually, really compelling. With some of the shots and how. I don't know if you saw this, where apparently the director set up like 10 different cameras in the house, so that and the actors were just told to act as a family.
Very documentary style.
But so like again, I think it's just that sort of what did it for me was that there was a lot of this sort of implied background stuff that was haunting, but it never went anywhere. And I just felt like I left the movie a bit deflated with what I'd watched, because I kind of felt like I got more out of visiting the place, but I'm aware that's not an experience most people have or will undertake. So that could just be my expectations.
I think like the biggest thing for me is it was great concept. I just don't think the execution was right there, and it's just missing that sort of emotional element. But again, maybe, you know, Jonathan Glazer probably thought, I'm taking the emotion out of it. I just want to literally, as I say, make this more of a documentary style thing of just, this is what happened. I can't control anything about the story because, you know, it's history. It's literally what happened. But yeah, like it's the whole kind of mundanity of, I think someone said it in a review, like it's the mundanity of evil and the normalization of it. And I think it is sort of referential to what we see today, whether it be in Russia and Ukraine, whether it be in Israel, Gaza, Palestine, whatever. If you just experience evil happening on a day-to-day, whether it be over your back garden wall or whether it be across the world, and you just see it happening every day, it just becomes a normal thing. So I like that concept of it. It just, as you say, I think misses that sort of emotional element that really might try and hook you in. And then for me, there's a bit where it's kind of like this weird infrared neon sequence, which I don't know what they were going for. I don't know if they were trying to reference to like an idea of hope, of like something very, I don't know. You kind of lost me there, but I'm sure there was something to it. But I think just conceptual-wise, it was a good idea. It just missed the mark for us personally. I think,
and also how I can, and also not to sound bad, because we need to. Sometimes I need to be a silly goose, David. It's a bit wanky because the first 5 minutes are just a black screen and music. Bit wacky.
I did think there was something wrong with the projector.
Yes, I was just like, it's just a bit like, I don't know. It's a bit wanky,
I suppose.
But serious topic, and it needs to be discussed.
Like
Golden Gazzy actress in it though, Sandra Hüller.
Sandra Hüller.
She's fine. I like, again, not amazingly outstanding, but a very, very solid performance and a lot of exposure for her, considering she's going to go to the Oscars for 2 movies. Which is great.
I don't know if it was supposed to be that type of thing of trying to get people who aren't superstars, a bit like with 2001, of just like the idea or the story or the concept is bigger than anyone that. But again, they were German actors, so maybe they are big.
Your man who actually plays Rudolph is very good as well.
Very good,
Shit haircut though.
That was ridiculous.
I meant to say that to you after, where I was like, that was truly horrific, David. The haircut he had. Good kid acting as well.
Good kid acting, and again, I just think what I will say is direction was very good. Direction was probably the standout thing for me, and that idea of having the cameras kind of still within the house, and there was a lot of panning as well, which panning so that you see things in the background. Again, very good. Well assembled film.
A well assembled film. There you go. Right, we talked about the last movie of January 2024, David.
The last movie of January 2024 is All of Us Strangers. We have Andrew Scott, we've got Paul Mescal, we've got
Claire Foy
and Ben Grimm.
No, David. Got Billy Elliot.
Sorry. What's his name again?
Jamie Bell.
Jamie Bell. Very small cast. So we have Adam plays a screenwriter.
Adam plays a screenwriter. Andrew plays a screenwriter.
No, Adam is a screenwriter, played by Andrew Scott.
There you go.
Who lives in a, I don't know what it was, like 10-story apartment block. Very lonely individual who one night is confronted by another occupyee of the apartment block named Harry, who comes knocking at his door, is quite drunk, and unfortunately Adam decides to tell him off.
Unfortunately, rightfully so.
No, but
this,
like
a drunk Paul Mescal this could be actually a dream for some people. But for me, a drunk Paul Mescal shows up with a half-finished bottle of whiskey, be like, "Hey, any chance of coming in?"
Whiskey. Look like
First of all, looked like shit whiskey. Second of all, you've drank half of it. Where's my half? This is half for me. And then second of all, be like, it's 10 a.m, mate. Pack it in.
10 a.m.
PM. Sorry.
That's early for most people.
It is. David, if I'm not already out before 10 p.m, you're not getting me out.
That's fair. And then parallel to this, we have Adam visiting his hometown where he's confronted by
a lot of confrontation in this.
Who he's met by the ghost of his parents.
He goes to visit his family home, and little does he know it's occupied by his dead parents.
His family, his dead parents,
who died when he was 12.
And what are we saying? He's probably like 30.
Yeah, so he's 30.
20 years.
Yeah, so he's like their age.
Yeah. So I know you didn't like this. I know you didn't like this so much that you was probably was this your worst rated movie of the month?
This is the worst one of the month for me.
Wow, Jesus, okay.
Now again, for me, I think there's things in this people are gonna love, but I don't like it.
For me, this was the best rated movie of the month.
There we go.
Apart from obviously 2001: A Space Odyssey, because that's a perfection. I'm a film bro.
Do you want to just talk about Fight Club instead?
No, what I will say is let's just go through this. Okay, conceptually wise, I think this is brilliant. Okay. I think the idea, I don't know, I'm trying to think if it probably has been done before, but the concept of a son or a daughter confronting meeting their dead parents and having the conversations they never got to have after they grew up is such a great idea to me. And the performances, that's one part of the story. I think the story between Adam and Harry, so Andrew Scott and Paul Mescal, I think it's good, and it feels a bit weird to me at points, but that makes sense towards the end. The thing is, I think this whole, again, I don't want to ruin it for anyone, but I think this whole movie is a metaphor. Yeah, it's like there's something going on, and it's so unrealistic. The setting is so unrealistic because you have this, as I say, 10, 12 floor apartment block, and there's only 2 people staying in it. And this is supposed to be edge of London or outskirts of London. So there's obviously straight away, you're like, this isn't a real place. This isn't real life. But I love the performances. Again, a really condensed small cast. And I think every single one of them does a good job. The interactions between Andrew Scott and the 2 parents, so Claire Foy and Jamie Bell, are brilliant. I think you said it before. I think Claire Foy probably got robbed for an Oscar nomination. Like, she, out of everyone, I think was probably the one that was the most brilliant.
Better than Jodie Foster and Nyad.
Yeah, better than I think Jamie Bell did a good job. The other thing I was going to say was that obviously going into the movie knowing that they were playing his parents, imagine seeing that movie and not knowing that he was playing his parents, and the first time they meet, it would have been a totally different thing. But anyway, it was only a 2 minutes.
I think that was intentional.
No, yeah, because imagine seeing that for the first time, and you know his character, and you know what had gone on before, and then he meets anyway, not knowing that he was his father. Anyway, so I thought it was brilliant, and I don't want to dive too deep into it, but I think that we have a character who is dealing with severe loneliness, has been stuck in the past due to the death of his parents, and has not been able to move on, and is living in a purgatory-like state between life and death, and is constantly just has never moved on and is stuck. It's almost like he's dealing with writer's block, but writer's block for his whole life. He's just like, he can't move on, he can't deal with it, and this was his way of dealing with it. But on the other hand, it shows that this crutch is so difficult because not only does it affect the person who's dealing with it, but it also affects the people around them, and it affects affects everyone involved, and it's not. It's what I thought was great is it's not heavy-handed kind of depression. It's a very hopeful movie. It's more a hopeful movie than you would see in what I've seen in other films. Yeah. And you're gonna disagree with me, and that's fine.
Yeah. Oh, can I start disagreeing now?
Go for it.
Okay, my biggest problem with this movie is I agree with a lot of what you said. I think it's a really interesting concept. I think the performances are good. Like I said, Claire Foy, I think, is the standout for me. And when we've already discussed how weak that supporting actress category is, I think she definitely deserves a place in there.
I think she's better than the two other girls we mentioned earlier, Divine Joy. Maybe not Divine Joy, but she's better than Danielle Brooke.
Is she?
Yeah.
No. Okay, right. Anyway, I get... Okay. Yeah, I'll need to think about that. I haven't processed that one yet. But anyway, so why didn't I like this movie? I didn't like this because I felt it was very surface level in regards to a lot of the emotions in it, and how it just felt like it was just trying to make you feel sad because the point of the movie is to be sad at times rather than to understand these characters. I know what you've said. I know you disagree, but this is how I took it in. Whereas I just felt like, oh, the score's getting really sad now, and he's saying something to his father that's just like anyone could say.
Because he never got to say that to his father.
I understand. I get this. But what I'm saying more so is, I don't know anything about these characters, and they're just saying sad things to each other. And the music's all sad, and then that's how I feel. I'm just like, I don't know about.
But the idea is that everyone's been in that situation.
I get this.
You have a father, don't you?
I do have my father. I do have a father. Yeah, I do. But you could say anything. Whereas like they could tell a story. I just felt very cheap in how it was. And I know you don't like me using the word manipulating, but I just feel like manipulating the audience into a state of sadness when it felt unearned. And there's movies like The Color Purple from 1985 and also more recently The Iron Claw, where it really does the groundwork to make those moments pay off. Whereas this, I felt, and the best way I can describe it to people, and I know I'm probably in the minority here as well, but it felt like a Pixar movie in that Pixar are so good at just making you feel sad like that without much payoff. And I can reference things like Up, the opening scene of Up, where it's just like, that's just a sad thing, but it just feels like the surface level of a story, like the thing in Up. It also feels like, remember the scene in Toy Story 2 where Jesse's left under the bed and everyone's like, oh no, Jesse. That's what it feels like. It just feels like there's no story here.
But the concept is that everyone's been in that situation. Everyone has a mother and a father, but imagine not having a mother and a father.
I understand, but that is a thought exercise that I can do in my own time rather than have a movie being like, and this would be really sad, wouldn't it? That's all it is. I'm emotionally weird. I get this. I'm saying that's why it didn't resonate with me.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's a bad movie.
Emotional manipulation is bullshit.
It's
you're not the only one, because I've seen that as well in other reviews, and it's not just for this film.
Yeah.
Like, I watched Wonder recently, the movie about the boy with the weird face. And all-
I don't know why that was so funny. Sorry.
But like, people complaining about it being emotionally manipulative. Yes, that's what a movie is supposed to do.
Yeah.
Like, if you watch a comedy, it's supposed to make you laugh. It's supposed to make you happy.
But there's such thing as cheap laughs.
Yeah, but
same way as I think there's cheap sadness, which I think this movie's cheap sadness.
I don't think so. I disagree.
That's fine. I'm not even trying to convince you. I'm not trying to convince anyone. I'm just trying to justify. I'm just trying to justify my reason for not enjoying it. And I remember just like leaving, being like, yeah, that would be like, that is sad. Yeah.
Did you not enjoy the bit at the end where he loses his parents again, but he's like happy to see them go?
First of all, spoiler. No, I really like the story elements of it. Some of the story elements of that.
You said there wasn't a story.
Story elements, not the story elements. But then also the whole thing of Paul Mescal, but like, it was so underdeveloped.
But does it not make sense though? In the context of the story?
No. But I would have liked to see him taking the learnings from conversations with his parents and implementing them better, or having those instances better developed with Paul Mescal. But I just felt it was very like, now they're out for a dance.
But you not understand, like, it's not real life.
I get that.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
It's a dream-like situation.
It's a bad dream for me.
It's a nightmare.
It's a nightmare, yeah. I don't know. It just didn't click for me. It just didn't click. And like, I wish I know I've said some stupid and controversial stuff just to be stupid and controversial. I promise you this isn't it. It just didn't click. And I wish it did. Like, and again, I don't know, January Blues or whatever, but like, same with Poor Things. I just didn't click with me. Yeah. But except I think this was worse.
You think this is worse?
Yeah.
This is the worst movie.
Worse for me. Worst movie. Well, no, I saw Wonka. That's a movie I actively despise. I will happily set up a political party to remove that from these shores.
Oh, wow. Jesus, that's a lot of effort.
I actually have another great story. This is a loose one.
Yeah.
I watched the Cider House Rules.
Yeah.
Very good, first of all. Michael Caine does a accent. Let that sink in.
Yeah. Doesn't do his
very
usual
good. You wouldn't ask her for it.
Yeah.
But fun fact, it's basically a story about Toby Maguire. He's a little orphan boy and he gets brought to this place that also delivers unwanted children but also performs abortions even though it's illegal. And there's
the cider house.
Then he goes to work in a cider house. But on this incest and rape and stuff like that there, it's very sad. It's actually similar enough to The Colour Purple. Anyway, it was so in the British Film Board, they rated it 12 because they're like, oh, nothing really bad happens in it. Irish Film Board, 18s. They were like, abortions? No. Incest? No, like they gave it the strictest rating. And I love on most on the Wikipedia page for the Cider House Rules, there's a little section which tells everyone about that, where it's like, you could actually drive 12 miles and watch it as a 12-year-old and as an 18-year-old. Ireland, and then it's like, and Ireland because abortion was illegal, and Ireland have since passed the referendum. I was like, get in Ireland! Imagine a movie being made in 2003, and then Irish...
Wait, what?
Oh, it's 2003, yeah.
2003, Jesus.
Yeah, and then Ireland get a little reference on it. It's great! I think it's not. It's 1993. Oops. Sorry.
Yeah, I was thinking.
Sorry, my bad.
Because Spider-Man.
Yeah, sorry. Oh, what's it? Let me double check this now. It was before Iris, which was... One sec, this is not interesting for anyone. It was 1999. Jesus, sorry.
Okay, so it's in between.
Anyway, where was I? The Colour Purple. All of Us Strangers. Yeah, look. I think I join up, but look, okay, I'll end on a positive note.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, I'm just... Yeah, go on.
Sorry. I was going to end on a positive note. How great is it for Irish talent at the moment, where we have the two Irish lads like
killing it,
absolutely killing it, and being front and centre on press tours, and they look to be having a great time, and I can't wait. David, I don't know if I've done this with you or I said it to you, but I cannot wait for the Gladiator 2 press tour. Barry Keoghan and what's called Paul
We've got some insider information on this from Morocco.
From Morocco, we went to the site where they filmed Gladiator 2. And the tour guide is a big fan of Barry Keoghan and Paul Mescal, but he said Denzel something else.
Yeah. Oh well, that's different level. Like
it's different level.
I was gonna say actually, I was getting a lot of Denzel vibes from your man in Colour Purple. Not Mr.
Yeah, the dad, Alfonso. What a silly name for such a mean, cruel man.
Because I'd say they were trying to. That would be a big name to get for that movie. Would have been better than The Equalizer 3.
Absolutely, spend your time better. Although he got a little holiday to Italy.
That's true.
This is an unhinged one, even for us. Shall we look forward to February?
Can you wait?
We've only a couple of movies here, David.
Yeah.
Argyle. It's out last weekend. We've seen it, maybe? I don't know. I haven't decided what I'm doing today, David. Yeah. Reclusive author Ellie Conway writes best-selling espionage novels about a secret agent named Argyle who's on a mission to unravel a global spy syndicate. However, when the plot of her books start to mirror the covert actions of a real-life spy organization, the line between fiction and reality begin to blur. Stellar cast, directed by Matthew Vaughn. It's getting poo reviews.
Is it? I didn't know that.
36% Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, wow. Maybe I won't go see it.
Yeah, really bad reviews. So, people probably have thoughts on that already. I will watch it eventually, but yeah.
When was the last time Matthew Vaughn did a good movie?
Did you like Kingsman: The Golden Circle?
No. Did he do the other Kingsman?
I think he did both, didn't he? Oh, he didn't do The King's Man.
The King's Man.
Did he do The King's Man?
I'll check.
It's not weird enough for Matthew Vaughn, surely. He did do The King's Man.
There you go.
That's a great movie.
He did Rocket Man.
Did he?
Yeah, according to this.
No, it wasn't Dexter Fletcher.
Oh no, sorry, he's a producer. Never mind.
Yeah, because him and Dexter Fletcher are busy mates.
Do you know what? I've seen every Matthew Vaughn movie except, of course, for Argo.
So you have to go see it.
Yeah.
Oh, Dexter Fletcher did Rocket Man.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry, I was thinking of Bohemian Rhapsody.
I've got producer here. Sorry.
Okay.
He's also a producer on Eddie the Eagle, Tetris.
Yeah,
he's got his hands in. Oh, Fan 4 Stick.
Okay, moving swiftly on. American fiction. Monk is a frustrated novelist who's fed up with the establishment that profits from black entertainment that relies on tired and offensive tropes. To prove his point, he uses a pen name to write an outlandish black book of his own, a book that propels him to the heart of hypocrisy and the madness he claims to disdain.
It's got a lot of Oscar buzz.
A lot of Oscar buzz. Jeffrey Wright finally got an Oscar nom. Robert... What's his name? Sterling K. Brown.
Sterling K. Brown. Yeah. It's been a long time coming for Jeffrey Wright, I feel.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a great actor. Put him in anything.
Yeah.
He's also in Rustin.
He is in Rustin.
He's fine.
That movie's fine.
It's fine. Migration, David. There's only 5 movies out.
Is there?
There's 6 actually. Migration. A family of ducks decides to leave the
this
safety
fucking
of the...
movie.
Do you know what? Apparently it's not... I'll finish. It's about ducks migrating. Apparently it's actually quite good.
Sorry, I've seen the ads and I've seen the posters.
It's by Illumination Entertainment. It's meant to be fine. It's a fun kids movie. The Iron Claw, the true story of the Von Erich.
Oh, sorry, is that all you have to say on Migration?
Look, what was I going to say that was good to convince you on it? It's got a stellar cast though, Migration. The Iron Claw, the true story of the Von Erich brothers who make history in the intensely competitive world of professional wrestling in the early 1980s. Through tragedy and triumph, the brothers seek larger-than-life immortality on the biggest stage in sports. I've seen this already. I would recommend people check it out. But also, look nothing into this. Don't read anything. I had it, so I know the story of the Von Erichs. I'm a big WWE fan. David, as I mentioned earlier, The Rock. People aren't a big fan of him. David, he's after taking Cody's spot in WrestleMania, and Cody's trying to finish his story. It's a whole thing. Don't get me started. Anyway, Zac Efron, Jeremy Allen White, Harry Dickinson. Oh, I forget the guy's name. He's in Mindhunter. He's the partner. Yeah, that's not the young lad.
He's also
Holt something. Fantastic in this. I think this movie was robbed of a lot of Oscar nominations, in my opinion. So anyway, to say,
which studio is it? Or do you know?
A24. I'm pretty sure. Just double check that. I could be wrong.
That's interesting. You would have thought they would be.
It is the Iron Claw. Yeah. So it is A24. Yep. Anyway,
no, sorry, distributor Lionsgate.
That's weird. I've written the Iron Claw and then it says distributed by A24. It's A24. I know for a fact it's A24. That's in Ireland. Because A24 don't distribute in Ireland. Because I would have emailed them about it. Anyway, so yes, the horrible story about the Von Erich brothers. Don't look into it because I knew the story going in. So a lot of the emotional, forgive the pun, David, punches didn't hit as hard because I kind of knew it was coming. But
you couldn't punch in WWE.
Of course you can punch in WWE, David. You can hit someone with a lead pipe. But what you call it? So I knew a lot of it was coming. A lot of the audience didn't, though. You could just hear gasps and people just like the one beside me, hands over her face at some point.
They thought they were going in for a
fun, sweaty man wrestling each other movie. It is
Magic
not that.
Mike 4.
It's kind of being marketed like that in a way.
Yeah.
Fun little like songs in the trailer. It is not that story. It is a tragedy. It's like I said, fantastic performances. Zac Efron. I shouldn't be hyping this up. I'll talk about it more next month. But yeah, definitely check it out. But don't look into it. You got Bob Marley, One Love, Jamaican singer-songwriter Bob Marley overcomes adversity to become the most famous reggae musician in the world.
Yeah, you think this looks terrible?
It looks so awful, David.
I don't know.
Forgive the pun, David, but it looks half baked.
It's hard to tell with a lot of these musical biopics. We've skipped a lot of them, haven't we? We skipped Respect. We skipped another one last year, I think. Sure. There was a Bowie one, maybe.
Oh, there was one with what's his face, Johnny.
No, there was another one that came out in cinemas. I definitely think we skipped.
Okay,
and I was like, I don't know. I think it could be fine. Could be shy.
Yeah.
I'm willing to give it a go, but there's no reviews out yet.
No, not that I've seen.
Which is a little bit worrying. It's 2 weeks though.
I like the main guy in it though, Ben Kingsley Adair.
Yeah.
He's in Barbie and Secret Invasion and other things.
And your one is in it.
Shauna Lynch.
Shauna Lynch.
Oh, I love Shauna Lynch. Yeah, I might give it a go. Probably not. I'll see. Because David, I'm too focused on what's out next, David. I can't stress to you how excited I am for Madam Web. Oh!
That's not it's funny, I was looking for that here. I couldn't find it. It's not here.
16th of February. Mark your calendars, ladies and gentlemen. This is Morbius all over again. No, I can't.
According to this, it's the promised land.
Can't wait. Madam Web. Cassandra Webb is a New York City paramedic who starts
Wait, her name is Webb?
Oh yeah, David.
Like she's Mark Webb.
She's Madam Webb.
Like Mark Webb, who directed the Amazing Spider-Man.
So Cassandra Webb is a New York City paramedic who starts to show signs of clairvoyance. Forced to confront revelations about her past, she must protect 3 young women from a mysterious adversary who wants them dead. It looks awful. It makes no sense. It shouldn't be a movie, but Sony are going to do it, and it's probably going to be balls, and I can't wait.
There's 3 Spun movies coming out this month.
3 Spun movies. We've got Venom 3.
No.
That's not this year. Is that coming out this year?
Yeah.
Finally.
Madam Web.
What else is Spun?
And there's something else. But
why did you say so confidently there was going to be 3? And then
because I was listening to the boys on the Weekly Planet and they said 3, and they definitely mentioned 3. I just can't remember them. If I look up Spun, who knows what will come up on Google. Sony.
No, it just says... El Muerto was supposed to come out and Venom 3. But...
Oh, maybe it was Venom 3.
Should have said bad, David. So what are you looking forward to there, David? Considering I said 1 is shit. You don't like you don't like Madam Web. You think the Bob Marley one might not be good, and the Iron Claw is a movie that I've told you is good, so you should probably go watch it.
Oh no, I probably will go see the Iron Claw. I've heard nothing but good things. I'm still looking for this one. Hold on. Oh, maybe it is. No, it is Venom 3.
Yeah.
November 8th, sorry.
There you go.
It is, but that's technically 2025.
I'd hate to see what your accounts look like.
The year's over in September.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll probably go see that. But I don't know. I've got higher hopes for the other movies. Who knows?
Yeah.
Anything can be good.
Yeah.
Anything can be shit. Gary doesn't like movies.
I don't like movies. It's February, David. Spring has sprung.
Yeah.
First,
actually, it is,
David.
It is quite it is quite sunny outside, which is nice.
First the snowdrops, then the daffodils, then St. Bridget's Day.
Happy Sixmas, people.
Then it's 6 Nations. I'm in a way better mood than now I'm ready for some Madam Web. Oh, it's got a 5 stars already. I can't wait.
It's got 5 stars.
5 stars from me already. Lock it in. Gary, use this clip of you saying how... Okay, no. For content. This is me being very silly now.
Yeah.
I don't think this is going to be good. I want to have about 5 pints and watch this movie and just laugh at how bad it is. But Sony, if you could invite me, I'd really appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'd love it. I will tell everyone to go see Madam Web regardless if it's good or bad. What the fuck?
That is the marketing machine that movie needs.
Yeah. Right, I think that's everything, David.
Yeah, I think we did it.
That's a bit of a loose one. We're back though.
No, don't worry about it. I think that's what people love about
I'll
us.
fix that all in post. David, as I've said, I've always heard from critiques and reviews of this podcast is people like when the two of us make jokes that make us laugh and people think, are they still talking to each other over there? They're still going.
Back and forth, just like a tennis match.
Yeah, zig and zag. Right.
No, it's zag and zag.
Zag and zag. Right, David, thank you so much for coming back, and thank you to the listener.
Appreciate you having me.
Always. And I want to thank you, the listener, for listening to this. Very much appreciate it. But do let us know your thoughts and give us, what did you think of All of Us Strangers and whatnot. We're on Instagram at Reading the Peers, TikTok, YouTube, Letterboxd, links in the description. Give us an email at readingthepeers@gmail.com. Be sure to subscribe because we're going to do some more. Also, there could be another Valentine's Day episode coming out. Who knows? It's 50 Shades Darker potentially, so
nice.
Give that a watch. And if you have any thoughts, queries, or comments, do let us know.
Cool, sounds good.
What do you think of Madam Web? What do you think it will be like?
I think they think that it'll be.
It's going to be the best movie of all time, David.
Although Morbius came out at this time.
Yeah, around April. No, it was April Fool's. Remember?
Was it? Okay, yeah. That was. Oh, that completely ruined me. I was on such a buzz going into the movie.
Yeah.
It ruined me.
Yeah.
I hate it. Hate it with a passion. And on that note, bye.